It's Tanya, the Bridge Malone, back with another YouTube video. I want to tell y'all about a story that happened yesterday. It's my story. Gotta stick to the story, right? Anyway, I was really trying to find a place to park where the sun wasn't shining and beating down on me, because it is only it's only supposed to get like 73 or 75 today. First of all, I'm going to show y'all my fit to get out of the truck. Alright, this is my shirt. Y'all seen it before in my pants, and I just got my slip-on shoes. That's my fit. I wish I could get away from the sun. But anyway, I had to straighten up my towel. I really need to buy me a steering wheel cover. I don't know if I can get that out of the way. So what I want to discuss today is something that happened to me yesterday. I went into Ross, remember, after I showed you all. I was sitting in the parking lot, because a lot of times I will and write lyrics. And a guy approached my truck. And what you know, y'all, I don't just let anybody approach me, because, you know, with the stuff going on in the world, you don't know what's going on, especially when you're a woman out by yourself in the middle of a parking lot writing. I have to keep an eye out for my surroundings. So I pushed my hand out. I said, "Hey, stop, who are you?" And he told me he needed some socks. I said, "Okay." I said, "I'll go in and get you some socks. What size socks do you wear?" He said he wore a size 11. I asked him what size t-shirt he wore. He said, "Well, it don't matter." I said, "Well, large, extra large?" So I went in. He said either or be fine. So I bought an extra large shirt and some socks. I wasn't in there 5 or 10 minutes. And I come back out and he's nowhere to be found. There was somebody parked beside me, and the guy was loading some stuff in the back of his trunk. I said, "Did you happen to see a guy that was out here?" I said, "He said he needed some socks." I said, "But I don't see him anywhere." And I looked around the parking lot a few times. I never did see him. So I didn't take it back into Ross to return it until this morning. I thought, well, the chances of my heart was in the right place, you know. So I thought, well, I'll just go on and return it, because I'm kind of hard up for money myself, because I've only got I've got less than $100 in my checking account. And then, so it was kind of odd, but then again, it was like he didn't ask for money, but I didn't have no cash on me anyway. I mean, if he needed something to eat, I'd have took him to Burger King or someplace around there and got him something to eat and something to drink, but, he didn't ask for that. He asked for a pack of socks, so I don't know. I don't know what was going through his mind at the time or what he was dealing with. I figure he might have been homeless, but he was asking for socks, and I didn't care. I didn't hesitate, but I locked my door. I didn't leave my door open and the window down and my door unlocked, because I didn't know who this person really was, but I figured they needed help. Then they said they needed some socks. I said, well, I just asked him what size he wore, come back out, and he was nowhere to be found. So in the midst of everything, I thought, well, I guess, if I'll probably never see this person again. So I looked around the parking lot, and then I proceeded to go on home. I thought, well, I probably should go home. So then I woke up this morning, and I called Kroger's, my job, to ask them if, if I was going to be able to be on the cash register. Well, she hadn't talked to nobody about the cash register, but they were supposed to call me back to see if I could be on the cash register instead of being in the deli. But I didn't mean for me to come back to work before the 29th, because the doctor put me off of work until Friday. I can go back to work Friday. But I'm trying to get them to accommodate me with my back issues and put me on the cash register instead of putting me back in the deli. And I meant that to be permanently. That you would put me on as being on a cash register as a permanent job to accommodate my back issue. Because I didn't want to continue to work in the deli, because I don't want to put my back out anymore. So I thought maybe they might accommodate me. So I asked that. So I had to call him this morning and talk to the same manager, who she said, well, I haven't talked to her to see if you can be on the cash register. I said, well, I'm not. She said, well, I thought you needed the money when I told her I wanted to be on. I said, no. I said, I need money. Obviously, I don't want to lose my job due to my back issues, but I didn't mean to come in here and work before my return to work date from the doctor's slip. I'm not going to return to work till Friday. I said, but I want to be a cashier permanently instead of working in the deli. So she's got to talk to the woman on the cash register, which she didn't do. So, yeah. So that's how that went down. But it was really, really odd. It really was. It was really different yesterday when somebody approached me and I didn't get to, my heart was in the right place. I didn't question it. I just went in and got them a pack of socks, and I got him an extra large shirt, and when I came out he wasn't there. So I guess maybe he was afraid I really wasn't going to do it. I don't know. But I'm just not going to let anybody approach my car because I don't know who they are. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't know who you are, I'm not just going to let you approach my car. Because there's drug trafficking going on, women and child trafficking going on. You know what I mean? There's too much going on in the world for me just to let anybody approach my vehicle. And it's not that I was trying to make him feel out of place. I just asked him what he wanted and who he was. And when he asked me if I could get him some socks, I had no issue going and getting them. Because if I was homeless, I'd want somebody to help me. I'm never against helping the homeless. But since he didn't stay out there to wait on the gift, I returned it so I could get my money back. Because really, I didn't have a lot of money to be spending anyway, but I was willing to help somebody. I guess obviously he didn't want it. I don't know, whatever the case may be. But my heart was in the right place. But I took the merchandise back because I needed, I really needed the money considering that I've only got less than $100 in my checking account. And if I pass him again, I'll go buy him something, but I don't know if it would be that person if they're not willing to wait on the gift, because I got to wait 2 to 3 days for that money to go back into my account after I spent it on him. I never planned on returning it. I bought him because he said he needed help. But that was what happened to me yesterday. Any of my people ever going to comment in the comment section on any of my videos? It don't have to be something negative. It could be something positive. Have you all ever dealt with somebody who needed help and then when you brought it out to them, they were nowhere to be found? It's kind of a waste of your money when somebody don't wait for you to bring it out to them, because then it's like, well, you can't wait 5 or 10 minutes, but I'm not saying nothing bad about him. He could have had many things going through his mind. He could have been battling something mentally. He might, when people's homeless, sometimes they don't trust people because they're afraid of how people are going to react to them. Many things could have been. Somebody might have came along and offered him money and he left. I don't know. But I highly doubt that was the reason. But I'll never know. But at least my heart was in the right place. I got the cheapest socks I could get and the cheapest shirt I could find on the clearance rack because I didn't have a lot of money. Because, like I said, I'm only got a 2-day paycheck coming Thursday and that's it. I'll do well if I clear $200 probably. I'm only going to have 17.5-hour paycheck, which, my thing is the doctor put me off till Friday, so I'm to go back to work Friday, but I'm hoping they'll put me on the cash register or in a department that doesn't consist of a lot of continuous heavy lifting. I meant for that to be permanently. And the reason the doctor put me off to the 29th is so I could relax my back muscles and stuff. But she misunderstood what I was trying to say. I wasn't asking to come in and work during the time that I was scheduled off, that I was off because the doctor put me off. No, when I returned on Friday, I wanted to know if I could be a cashier instead of working in the deli permanently. That's what I was asking. I wasn't asking to stay working in the deli. But who knows? I may have to go back to the deli till they can find somebody to replace me, maybe. I don't know how it'll work out. But I didn't want to have to put my back out again. That's why I was asking for them to make accommodation. I guess she thought I wanted to come in and work during the days that the doctor scheduled me off on the cashier so I could get paid, but that wasn't the case. I was asking her, could she, once I come back to work Friday, if I could be on the cash register permanently and if they could find somebody to replace me in the deli. Permanently. Not during the time the doctor put me off. But I did tell her. That's the reason why I asked her that, because I didn't want to lose my job over my back issues, because I'm not going to be able to continue working in the deli forever because of my back issues. Like you all know, I can't continue to re-injure my back. That's the reason why I was telling her I wanted it permanently, but I didn't say permanently when I told her until this morning when I called her on the phone. But she was supposed to have called me back and never did. So I had to call in. But you know how it goes. You always got to do somebody else's job for them. But it was a misunderstanding. She thought I wanted to come in and work during the days on the cashier instead of in the deli so I could get paid for this week, get paid for some hours this week instead of going all week with no hours. But I'm going back on Friday, so if they work me Friday and Saturday, that's 2 days I could have hours, but I don't know if they will. But on the online schedule, I was scheduled for today, Friday, and Saturday anyway, but I'm scheduled off. I'm not scheduled to be off at work, but I'm off due to the doctor put me off till Friday. I can return to work on the 29th. But that doesn't mean I want to go back in the deli. That's why I went in there to ask them if they could put me as a cashier and put somebody else in the deli permanently because of my back issues. So when I proceeded to tell her in person when I dropped the doctor's note off that I didn't want to lose my job due to my back issues, that's what I was trying to tell her. But it was a miscommunication. No big deal, just miscommunication. So I tried to get myself in bed a little bit earlier. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm assuming they'll try to work with me, but I don't know. I'm assuming they will. But yeah, I could have went in and ran the cashier, this week instead of being off till Friday. But I need that time to be off. I wasn't asking her to come in. I said, no, I need my job. I don't want to lose my job due to my back issues is what I was trying to tell her. I want to be in a different department where I don't have to lift heavy stuff. I've had issues with this back issue before with prior existing jobs. The last job I had issues with this. That's why I had to leave. But anyway, I just wanted to get on here and tell y'all my story. That was my story. And, that was my story from yesterday. It was just kind of odd. Felt different. But anyway, I love y'all. Hope y'all having a blessed day. And if you come across somebody and you go get them something, maybe take them in the store with you. I don't know. But when you don't really know people, this is what's hard for people that are homeless. You don't know, for one, you don't know why they're homeless. Second, we're not to judge people no matter what their reason is. But I tried to help somebody, but I didn't ask a complete stranger to walk in the store with me to pick out what he wanted. I just went in and get it and brought it back out. So I figured he would have waited, but he wasn't there when I came back out, so I don't know. We don't know what goes through the minds of the homeless person, but I pray that he's okay. Peace, love, and y'all be blessed.